Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video on the little Mini Cooper. 20 minutes after we just finished the other video, right. But we did explain in that video we are actually going to have to pull the, well, we don't have to, but it makes sense to pull the engine in this video. We've got to change the battery tray. The battery's flat. All of that's got to come out anyway. The engine mount's knackered. That's got to come off anyway. Ultimately, the only thing going to be holding that in is passenger side drive shaft, because the driver's one's got to be changed. Rear mount, gearbox mount, and we'll just pull that engine out. There's really not a lot that it's going to take to get that out. Then we can actually start working on that engine, establish the oil leak, and get some more repairs done to this one. So let's get it up in the air, get the old faithful engine hoist in, and start the process of stripping this one out. Got stuck in there, mate, reasonably easy actually. The ECU and all these wires, we actually unplugged all of those and there was no need to. It was literally this small little loom here, so got a plug here, plug there, and a couple of little wires that go on the battery terminals. Remove those and we was able to fold the whole thing up. I've removed the cap off of the bracket there, just two little 13s, one 13 on the main, I don't know what you'd call that there, the clamp holding that on. Lamber's disconnected, water pipe disconnected here from the housing, brake servo pipe, two gear change cables, and we even released the external slave there so that we're not going to be dropping any fluid anywhere. There's the clamp under there, it's fell on the floor. So it's everything upside. I think we're quite happy. We're going to have to come back down to obviously undo the engine mounts, but we're ready to actually go up now, remove the shafts, remove the gearbox mount, just remove everything out of the way that's underneath it, and then we'll get the engine crane in and hopefully pull this out. Right guys, it is out. I'm no expert, but I'm going to say it. Well, I just said it to Chris and he completely agrees. Since we just started this video, that has not took us more than an hour to get that out. You could not get in that gap and fix. We just said to get behind here and start messing around doing all of those repairs would take hours. It literally would take hours. But also, yeah.
Do you think that's twisted?
It is twisted, and you could tell by the way the bolt was holding it. So we do need...
That drive shaft.
Yeah, so the drive shaft mount, we knew that took a bit of a wallop.
Turbo's jam solid.
Is it? Sorry, I'm trying to hold it on you here. So the drive shaft's, the housing there is cracked which is okay because that's a bolt-on part. We have found our oil leak. So hopefully, guys, you can see in there, the little casing has got a big hole in the side of it. So it's going to need a new one of those casings. And the turbo, that's the bit I noticed, Chris. Have you noticed anything else? That bit there's snapped.
See where this cast body meets.
I can see it.
It's not sitting here, it's half popped through. You can see the seal.
The actual turbo's popped out of that housing.
Look at this bit bent here. This bracket that holds it in, it's kind of started pulling the turbo apart, hasn't it?
Do you know what? Regardless of what's going on behind here, I'm so glad we've just seen that, Chris, because you never know, is the block cracked? You don't. No. There's so much stuff broken there.
Yeah, that's a position sensor.
Don't forget, in all of the stuff I've just bought, it come with another loom.
Yeah.
So we've got, and I did say earlier on in this video, if the part number on that loom we get, because it's a 2020 1.5 turbo like this, if the loom is the same part number, it's not worth you soldering all these up.
Well, that's not the
yeah,
loom,
I know, that's the sensor.
position.
But other plugs, like this one.
Is there many?
There is quite a few. Like, look at the state of that. Oh, mind you, that one will be all right. There is quite a few, but I know you'll make a nice job of soldering them anyway, but that is it. Shall I bring in the new bits?
Yeah.
Mind you, you can't fit... You can fit that.
It's going to be a case... Probably the first thing to do is order that front cover. Right?
Yeah.
Because that's going to delay us putting it back in, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
We've got everything else, haven't we?
Yes. It looked like there was some cracks in the sump there, right? And I got worried. No, do you know what it is? Look, even on camera it looks cracked. Can you see it there?
Yeah.
It's grease, or it's flicked down.
Yeah.
So we've got all of this shaft, but I am going to need to go back now and get one of these housings and also get one of these covers. So let's make a call and see if we can get that, yeah? So Chris sitting there's just made a bit of a note of other stuff that we've noticed, the mounting. And then I wasn't sure about this because I see the 2 bolts on it and the cracks behind there. I thought, I wonder whether it comes in 2 sections. So I just went out to the truck, got the new drive shaft, and sure enough, it comes with that bracket. So I've ordered that one up. That casing, I know it was only 2 minutes ago, Chris, was that 40 quid retail? Yeah. And it was going to be a little bit better trade? 10%. We've ordered it, and that's going to be in by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, so we can get that fitted. And then that's everything on the back of the engine we've got, so we should be able to get the engine back in after we've done that work. But the thermostat housing, not looking too promising. Cheapest one I can find is in another country, and it's about 160 quid and quite a wait to get it here. So let's keep our fingers crossed I can find one locally. Back in the morning. We've been back over there and got the rest of the bits. So that mount we've now got. And that there, yeah, good luck with that, mate.
Yeah, there's a lot of loom there.
That is the wiring loom. I would, well, I don't know. Chris, you're going to have to match up the part numbers, and if it's slightly different, don't even bother attempting it. Just use the plugs we need. We've got the oil cooler there, oil water cooler, underneath here somewhere. I've got to be careful. We've got a little camshaft position sensor there that was broke. And what other bits did we get? Oh, it's in the back.
Yeah, but also we've got those chassis extensions, Rob.
Yeah, the aluminium ones.
Pair of those.
I did say originally we wanted to get a complete unit, but like I said, he said they was throwaway items, as was the light panels and stuff. But we also picked this up while we was there. A mint red wing. So no paint or repair there for you, Chris, because that wing is probably easy for you to dress up, but then it wants a bit of bog, and it wants, it's just easier to buy that, wasn't it? And very, very cheap. I am going to leave you in Chris's capable hands. I am going to Arden BMW to pick up that cover. Then from there I'm going down to Ashford, Charing, BMW spares. I'm taking our damaged bonnet and going to make sure that the one he's got there is the correct one, and also pick our bumper up while I'm there rather. I'll leave you with Chris. I think you're going to make a start and just check the numbers and
strip some bits off of that as well.
Yeah, I can do all the bulkhead when I get back, can't I? So right, leave you with Chris. Cut there, and Chris said, Rob, worth showing this. So the Toyota Hilux, I've not used my van for well, it's been over a week, isn't it? And it had done 115,615 miles. It's now done well over 100 miles I've done in it, haven't I? And engine light, you can see it's on there. And then out it goes. I genuinely cannot fault this at all. And when he had that, he said he had the EGR cleaned before he had it remapped. And I think it's actually solved the issue, yeah. Because I can't get the light to come on. And I've, although it's an auto, in an auto, obviously, you can put it into manual. And I've been driving this quite hard, to be honest with you. I really have been trying to get that light to come on and just will not come on. So we're going to chuck this one on Instagram. I think it's ready to go, and we're just going to let it go as it is.
So you can see on that little bit of time lapse there, all quite straightforward work really. Removed the alternator, AC compressor, thermostat assembly, front cover, drive shaft. Turbo I've put over on the bench, both the replacement and the damaged one. And this was the little bit we was trying to show earlier, where this plate, this retaining plate, has bent out of shape, and the two parts of the turbo started separating, and this shows it how it should be. So don't forget, if you want to slow the time lapse down and you want to see it in a bit more detail, you can I believe it's the 3 little dots you press, and you can slow that down to a speed where you can see it in more detail. That is the oil cooler assembly there, the replacement, which I've yet to drain. Alternator, AC compressor. So really good find by Rob, getting all that stuff so local and so quick, which means we can get this engine put back together hopefully today. There will be 1 or 2 bits because we haven't found that thermostat housing, but luckily that's on the front of the engine, which means it's quite accessible, so we can get all that in hopefully. And the trickiest bit is probably the loom change, the wiring harness change, but I won't do that until the engine's fully built back up as much as it can be, and then it's a process of taking the old one off and immediately replacing it with the new one while you still remember where everything goes. That's the idea anyway. Just finally, I would like to thank everybody as well who has recently followed me on my Instagram account, Salvage Rebuilds Chris. It's much appreciated, and I will continue to post things on there that I think people might be interested of, stuff I get up to in my spare time, when I get a bit of spare time, that is. But anyway, thanks again, much appreciated.
Couple of hours there, Chris, you was on that while I was gone. I've picked up a bonnet for it, and when I got there, the front bumper was actually red, but it was a burgundy-ish red, and it needed a little bit of work on the arch. He said, Rob, I've got every other colour brand new if you want it. So I've actually gone for did I tell you, Chris, brand new white one. And it's still got all the cellophane on it. And I believe all of those bumpers are shipped in from Germany, because all of the cars are actually built standard. Yeah. And if someone orders a John Cooper Works, they then remove all of the bumpers and fit the John Cooper Works kit. Yeah, which is absolutely crazy. I suppose it's part of their process. It's what they do. So we've got a bonnet and bumper. Still trying to source that headlight and front panel with rads. Chris cracked on. I bought the new cover back. He just fitted that a minute ago. And the bottom pulley's back on there. Drive shafts on, turbo. In fact, I know he's filmed all this. It's all on there. The sensors, we've got a replacement sensor there. We have got a broken plug. Chris started looking at the wiring loom, and they are all slightly different.
Well, the part number is different.
So like this number here was probably one of the ones you matched up, and it was slightly different.
Actually, to be honest, that one no, because that's a separate loom.
Right, okay. But there is differences.
Yeah.
So
there's a part number here that's different on this one, and there's a part number here on this piece of loom different. It does look like you can unclip certain parts of the loom. Right. But as there's 2 differences there already, and we've only got, I think, a total of 5 plugs that are damaged. 5 plugs. So 1 at the back there, and the rest are at the front, which is these, and it's going to be easy work for you. So none of them have got loads of wires on them. So and very, very accessible being on the front. So we're now ready to actually chuck it in, Chris. We are, yeah. Get it back in there, get it bolted up, and get it back on its wheels. I'm not saying we're going to run it up, but we can only do as much as we can do. And Chris did notice there is another little sensor broken, this one in the front of the inlet.
So he may be able to do something with it. Where is it? He's put it here somewhere. So it's there. Oh no, that's knackered. That's completely knackered. So we're going to need to source one of those as well. Let's get this engine put back in. We're probably not going to film it. It is going to be a little bit tricky because it's got 2 drive shafts on it this time. But these are so short. We didn't even need to take that lower arm actually out. They would just pull out because ultimately, here's all your teeth here that sync up with the back of the hub there. So, let's get it in. I think we just got lucky with the last bits, guys. We got our fingers crossed, Chris, haven't we? Yeah. Do you know what? We just worked there, and we had to actually stop a time lapse. But all jokes aside, I know everyone's not going to hear us. You might have to do a bit of sign language. How nicely did that all go back together?
Yeah, a couple of bits we had to take back off because we put them in the wrong order.
That's right.
But we've never done one of these.
That was the brake servo pipe. I should point that out.
Yeah.
So,
I was round the sun and make them work.
yeah, there's the brake servo pipe down there. But we fitted all of this back up and then thought, where does it go? And it actually runs, as you can see there, under the battery tray. But we're so made up, everything has bolted back together. That nice new turbo's on there. The exhaust is all back on it. Everything's all bolted up. And it all seems to be coming together lovely. I did get carried away. I fitted all those new aircon pipes so that they're all clipped in, all sitting where they should be. The engine mounts on there, the new one. A couple of little bolts, they're on their way as well. I got a bit excited and actually fitted all the top cover here. And then Chris was like, well, it's going to be a bit tight to get in there. But luckily, it's actually here. It is only those 3 screws in there. So that just sits back on top there. And you can see those 3 screws go in. But I must admit, we've been talking while we've been doing it. And we did not expect to get this car put back on the road this quickly, did we? It's just everything's fallen into place. The thermostat housing there, Chris is still looking up little bits.
I'm just because we need to get that ordered before it gets too late in the day.
Right, the little sensor.
Yeah.
But the thermostat housing is actually smashed to pieces, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've all seen the little clip of what happened to the car. Now, if you look at the car it hit, it had a tow bar on it, and that is what has actually just punched this here and broken everything. But all back, everything that we've taken apart on it in this video is all back together. New mounts, new turbo, everything's on there. We are really, really chuffed with it. We're going to move on now, get these drive shafts nuts done back up. They need to be torqued right up, and then we'll get the wheels on it and get it back on its wheels. And fingers crossed, we're not going to be able to run it up without that inlet manifold sensor, Chris, are we?
If we can get one ordered today,
we could probably pause this video and do it in the morning, yeah.
Possibly.
We'll see how we get on with that. In the meantime, let's get these drive shafts done up. So unfortunate, that bit is not coming in now till tomorrow, the little sensor. So we're not going to take any risks and actually try and run this up with that missing and various other bits and pieces unplugged. And Well, you can't see Chris, he's in a black
Hopefully
t-shirt,
we've
but
got thermostat housing now.
yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, the thermostat housing is coming. But so much achieved in this video, and myself and Chris are very, very happy with what we got done. The progress, finding the parts, and also managing to source the other parts for it as well. Like I say, we got that wing, got the front bumper, got the bonnet. We've just located a headlight, front panel complete. So it's looking really, really positive, this one. And like I say, shame we couldn't start it up, but it is what it is, and we're happy it's back down on its wheels. I did just chuck the jump pack on it, purely to let the fuel pump prime, make sure that we had no leaks, and make sure that the steering lock comes off, because we're going to need to push it out and get another project in. But that is going to be the end of today's video, Chris, unless you've got anything to add.
I think that's it, mate.
Yeah, that's
all good.
That's the end, yeah?
That is the end.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, share, follow us on Instagram at Salvage Rebuilds for the little sneak peeks. And don't forget, we do not send messages to people asking them to telegram us. They're all scammers, guys. Thank you, everybody that's been reporting them and just ignoring them. We have been deleting them, and Chris is trying his hard in the background now to actually block the words telegram. You know, we don't want to end up blocking every word because I don't want to get a message through. But
Right.
in the same sense, no scammers are welcome. We'll see you all very, very soon in the next one.